got almost 10,000 miles on it, and you cannot, I mean, other than the fact that it's really dirty from the exhaust leak, you really cannot even tell. Guys, so today we are going to go and try to fix this 240 finally. Got to get the turbo gasket, the turbo flange gasket back on the manifold. Well, on the manifold, I haven't even taken anything off. So let's do that. Let's go take the car apart and get it fixed up. Hazards are still on, so we got to turn those off. Got it to the shop. Got it to the shop, guys. There it is over there. Got to get some stuff out of my truck, and then we'll be good to start wrenching on it. Freaking bright out here. Alright. Should have, oh no, I have a bunch of trash. Turbo gaskets. A bunch of other trash and stuff. Flashlight. Camera battery. Gotta have a camera battery. Look, Skyline parts. I would really like a full throttle, so we might grab one of those. The vending machine in there. Gotta get this camera battery on the charger though, because this is my extra. So that's all popped out. Oh, which one? This one does. Bam. Alrighty. We're set. Got a little bit of cleaning to do. I'd like to do before I get going on the car here. But yeah, let's go get a full throttle. Good deal. Got the full throttle. Time to get to work, man. Been needing to fix this car for like a while now. Oh, I should lock this door. Lock myself in here. That way nobody wanders in for some odd reason and then thinks we're open. Just saying, it's happened before. They'll probably already think we're open because of that over there. There's your mint condition S14 SE. Beautiful car. Alright guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is just drain the coolant. This is basically going to be a video also on like how to remove your turbo on your SR20. It should be pretty similar if you have a stock manifold and a stock turbo. It really shouldn't change much. If you're still running a bottom mount intercooler, this portion right here will change. If you're running like a factory intake, it'll change a recirc pipe. But those are all easy things. Basically, you just want to gain access down in there. The first thing that I would recommend is probably draining the coolant at least halfway, or like, you know, get some out of it, because you are going to have to take this coolant neck off most likely. I mean, I've never really achieved it without doing it necessarily, so definitely going to do that. What's next? Yeah, drain the coolant and then we'll take all that stuff off. And don't worry if you don't have a lift. It really won't change this process much. A lift is going to make it easier for us getting the coolant out of it, and also like the downpipe. And if you have a stock turbo, you're going to have hard lines on your turbo. Just go ahead and understand that the hard lines are not fun to take off. They're probably going to win the fight, so I recommend always, even on a stock turbo, stock manifold, if you're taking this guy off, get you some ISR. Like, it doesn't have to be expensive. You can do the Tomei lines, the ISR lines. I'm not sure who else makes them. I'm sure there's tons of them. You can make your own with some AN fittings. I would recommend like getting the braided lines for your turbo, because the hard lines makes this process much worse. A lot of people like hate them for that reason. But if you have a bottom mount turbo and you're all done up with braided lines, it's really not that big of a deal. So either way, if you're in there, you might as well. If not, just be careful with your lines and watch for the gaskets and all that. Just don't put them on too uneven pressure, because you will snap the line and you won't even know that you snapped it, but it'll kind of crack the solder and then you'll develop like a super slow leak. I've been there. It happened to this car a long time ago, but it did happen. I'm not even sure if I recorded it, but yeah. Turbo's been off this car a few times for this reason. Time warp 5 minutes later. Well, look, it's up in the air. All right, so what you're going to be gaining access to, if you're running a factory radiator, or any really radiator for that, I mean, it shouldn't be much different. Oh my God, look like coolant or whatever got in my lens. This guy right here is my drain on my radiator. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, I want like, either way, this guy, or sometimes they'll be like sticking out the side right here, or like over here. Some of them are in the middle, some of them go straight up. Mine goes straight up on this ISR radiator, so I'm gonna take that off. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna drain that, and then also your downpipe. Here is my downpipe. It's just the ISR one, I believe. Yeah, ISR downpipe. It just fits the best as far as the body, because as you can tell, downside is it doesn't have a flex pipe. I think I've said this in a video before. The flex pipe is the reason why I'm having these blowouts on my gasket. It can crack your manifold. It is not the optimal setup, because it has like the only flex is like on the turbo and stuff. So it's not the ideal setup, but I have a flex pipe at my house that I just need to chop this and put the flex pipe in. So I'll probably do it after this one, because I'm kind of tired of doing this. But yeah, anyways, these 3 flange bolts will get your downpipe off, and then also those ones. You may not have to take this side off. I think I can just drop it down just by undoing those ones. Also, a bunch of fiberglass wrap in there. Take off the turbo drain. I take it off right there, like at the turbo. You can take it off like right there where it goes on the block, but I choose to take it off up there. I don't really take off the turbo, the neck right there. I don't really mess with that. And then I think the rest we can do from up above. Okay, now you don't have to do what I'm doing, I don't think. But see, I'm gonna take off the steering shaft coupler, this little guy right here, the U-joint. I'm gonna take that off because I don't know if I can clear this flange in between my block, because it is all an aftermarket flange. I think on the factory one you can, but don't hold me on that. But anyways, if you're doing what I'm doing, just mark basically where the center line, see that little crack where they bolt together, just mark where that's at, like on the shaft. That one can only go one way, so you're not really worried about the top one, but this one, just keep an eye on where it kind of went. That way your steering wheel is not too off center, and while it's disconnected, don't go spinning your steering wheel, just in case you do have a system that still has an airbag, because it can totally screw it up. So don't go doing that. But I'm gonna disconnect mine to make it easier, and if anything, it'll help you guys see more of what I'm doing. God, this camera just doesn't want to focus or film and do this. I know it's blurry, which doesn't help. Look at that catch. Look at this. Look at that, it worked. Got her back down on the ground. I know, sorry about my weird glasses. Got her back down on the ground, so now we are going to start on the top bits. Get the strut bar off, get all the intake piping crap off, don't get anything in those, PCV line, coolant neck, unbolt the manifold, yank it out. Oh, coolant lines and oil lines, don't forget those. Then I like to put one back on just in case I have to lift up the car again. Don't forget you did that either, because you'll have a gnarly noise driving down the street. Okay, gotta get all this stuff out the way. I need to finally just cut this off, but I just realized something. Check this out. See that whole turbo move down there? Whew. Hold on. Okay, guys. Let me turn this off. Jesus, what is going on? Okay. Alright guys, so sorry I didn't record like getting everything off. My camera battery's dying just like I kind of thought it was. The other one's still charging. Turbo's loose, got all the studs off, got the lines off. It was really easy. Now I'm about to attempt to yank it out, so let me throw you somewhere where you can see me. Hopefully you can see all this. The line is caught. Oh yeah, unplug your reducer. Oh yeah. Some people like tack weld their turbo nuts and studs. This is probably why. Look, I had lock washers on them, didn't matter. See that? That's not what you want. So, turbo feels okay. I guess what we'll do is just get all this off, separate the turbo and stuff. Oh, and that's a nice gasket too. The other one I have is not nice. Let me see what we got. Okay, my dudes. So I think I know what we're gonna do. We are going to clean this surface up. I already checked the. God dang! Focus, you son of a bitch. Sorry for cussing. Focus, you fuck. Is it focused? Okay, well anyways guys, we're going to clean the surface up. Look at it. Look at like not knowing what I want to do. Clean all this crap. All these studs are in there. Last time this happened, the studs came loose, so I welded them on the backside. Just gave them like a tack. Now, what I am debating doing, if I would have gotten the Tomei manifold, excuse me. Okay, what I am debating doing, if I would have gotten the Tomei manifold, would have made this like whole bolting process much better, but with bottom mounts that is a big problem. So anyways, I'm thinking about like putting the new gasket, probably not using that one. I don't know, the new one's like a graphite gasket and I really hate them. That gasket actually looks okay other than it being black. I mean, if I tighten it up enough it should be fine, but I'll figure it out. I'm thinking about like getting the nuts back on and then just tack welding the nut to the actual stud, which it would suck because it means whenever I want to take the turbo back off I would have to cut the weld, cut the stud, blah blah blah, but it may be worth it in the long term. This is a great turbo. It's got almost 10,000 miles on it and you cannot, I mean, other than the fact that it's really dirty from the exhaust leak, you really cannot even tell. There is absolutely like no shaft play. So I would feel comfortable doing that. It wouldn't really bother me, and I have seen other people do it. I think Adam LZ had done it to his. It just keeps the turbo on his old setup, keeps it from coming loose and keeps you from having these problems. But I'm really not sure on what I want to do yet. It's kind of hard. Everything in here looks okay. It's been a while since I've been able to see it from this kind of perspective, but everything in there looks okay. I think we might throw the street tires back on the back. These are the street tires that I had for it. They were pretty much brand new. Then I had bought these like semi-, like they're drag slicks, but they're street legal. They're the ET Street R's. But this is only if I have time, of course. But I do have my other two tires over here in the tire cage in our tire pile. They are these two Falcons. They're like literally brand new. But I would have to take my radios off. There is a track day Friday, but I don't think I'm gonna go. I know that I'll probably decide last minute that I do want to go, but I can just change them another day. But I do want to see it on street tires again because it gets a little more low and I think it looks much nicer. I also need to go online and register the car because it's been sitting, so I really didn't mess with it much, and every time I drove it, it was basically to the track and that was it. Gonna try to change this distributor, or not the distributor, the cam angle sensor cap. I have a black cap. It's just from whenever I had like swapped this cam angle sensor in there because the other one was acting funny. It had this old clear cap. So yeah, let's get this done. I'm probably just gonna kind of like time lapse this or something, or I'll just throw it together and show y'all like the outcome, because I really don't want to like have to film it all, because you know what I'm gonna do. If anything, I'll give you some like helpful ways on like how to get to each nut, because that is probably going to be your biggest problem if you're separating the two. Getting to each nut on the turbo flange like while they're connected is not fun, pretty much on any like bottom mount setup. And yeah, but it is always good though if you're taking your turbo off, just like do a health check for shaft play, like any like excessive blow by, metal to metal rubbing, contact, anything like that. So, but let's get to it. This gasket looks fine. There's like nothing wrong with it. I really don't like the graphite gaskets that much. There's nothing like no perforation or anything like, I don't even know the word, separation where it had blown out. I think it was literally purely just the studs. So I thought it was the gasket. I think it was the studs. Let me show you. Here is your main differences. Graphite gasket. Pressed graphite in between like basically two pieces of foil. If it'll focus. Come on. There you go. See how that's like pressed in between there? Same. See, these are like layered gaskets, which mean there's like God, this thing won't focus. Okay, there's like literally layers of metal. See that? Then you have like your solid metal gaskets, which I love these because they're basically reusable. These graphite ones, good luck reusing them. Sometimes you can, just depends. If you over torque these, they will blow out. That's another thing that's kind of weird. Which on this, I'm just gonna guess we're not really gonna be able to get them super even torque. I am gonna use this layered gasket on the back of the turbo because those are good. But yeah, I'm gonna reuse this. I'm gonna see how it feels whenever I tighten it up. If it's smushing it real good, and if it is, we're going for it, guys. I really don't want to have to use this. I'm just scared that it'll blow out. So, because these are like $5, these are like 20 bucks. Good gaskets right here. So, back to the time lapse. Probably not gonna weld them, but make sure you do get your lock washer on there. Give it like some kind of fighting chance. I just get them like barely started because you might have to like lift the turbo off of the manifold a little bit just to clear some of the nuts. That's pretty typical. This one down in here is the worst of them all. Because you're going to do that probably a million times. Okay guys, so I got them all tight. This one kind of tried to start rounding off on me. This one sucks because you got to leave the gap in between the turbo and stuff, or the turbo and the manifold. You got to leave it kind of big to get the nut started. Cause see how there's like not enough room. I know it's not focusing in between there and there. So leave the gap kind of there, and then get your nut started. These pretty easy. You can get all these pretty much just like this. This one down here, you can slip the box end over if you don't have this nut on there. It'll make it easier. Slip the box end over the nut and just go like that. If you take the outlet off, it'll the elbow, it'll make it a little bit easier for you. The 12, see, I used 13s on these three, and then on this one I used a 12 since it's kind of tight clearance. That way I can get this guy in there. On some turbos you'll be able to slip the box end over, there's more room. But on a bigger turbo like this, on a T3 flange, really kind of hard to do. That one's kind of the same way as the top one. You just kind of got to like lift the turbo, slop it in. But after you do that, I mean, you can open in that one, open in that one, so they're all tight. You can Loctite them if you really want to, but with the heat, usually Loctite doesn't do much. But yeah, I got them like on there super good. I feel like very confident. That's probably the tightest I've ever got them. Gasket squeezed down pretty nice. So now I'm going to put on the dump pipe, that guy right there. Sorry about the wind from my air conditioner. And then after I get the dump pipe on, we can stick this thing back in the car, get it together, fire it up, and then do some tires. So that's the plan. Okay guys, a couple of things to maybe like consider before you throw your turbo back on. This is CU800 or just anti-seize compound. You can usually get it AutoZone, O'Reilly's, probably O'Reilly's. I like O'Reilly's much more. So anyways, you use this on like things that are gonna get hot or something, exhaust bolts that, you know, are like, they're like liable to break off. So just get some of this on there, on the studs, maybe even on the nut. But putting a little goober on there is not a bad idea by any means. A little goober on each one of them. This will like the next guy like you, and you might be the next guy. So always use that. I also have it in spray form. I was kind of spraying it on the back half of the turbo. And this is kind of herpes, so don't get it on you because it'll spread. Because that's like kind of nasty shit, sorry. Stomach's kind of hurting, so I'm kind of trying to hurry a little bit, but hopefully it'll go away. I was using a metal gasket on the manifold, on the engine as well, so I can reuse this, no big deal. This is one of those, I was using a metal gasket on the engine as well. This is one of those 7-layer metal gaskets. You really can't see because my camera doesn't know what focusing is. I believe I had black side on the turbo. Doesn't really matter in your case. Don't really ever recommend using the factory OEM gasket twice. It is a pressed graphite gasket, not really recommended. If it has a metal gasket, you can get away with a lot of metal gaskets twice. So I'm gonna throw the turbo back in, throw you guys kind of up there, something where you can see me, because I definitely need to get this done, and it's hot as balls in here, so I do need my air conditioner. So yeah. No, Cardi B. Turn down. Okay. You can probably hear my air conditioner. That's gonna suck. You just might have to deal with it. I'll do my best. Sorry. So, run all of these guys down. It helps if you have two hands to kind of lift the turbo up, which I can like attempt to do with the camera, but you run one of them down. Sure, all you're seeing right now is glove. There we go. Get them all kind of ran down. My wrap is loose. Probably could have just rewrapped this manifold, but last time I did that, I went home and I was itchy for like 2 weeks, so I'm not doing that again. Only do that on like customers' cars now. I don't want to ever do that to mine again. I'll do it, I'm sure, but that kind of freaked me out, that noise. Apparently I rubbed the ratchet the right way. I think this is the first time I ever like got all these nuts started and didn't drop one. Take your trusty dusty 14mm offset helps. And just get to running these fellers down. You want to start on the inside and work your way out, as always on a manifold. And really kind of with anything. Smush your gasket to the exit. Don't smush it to the middle. I like to start on the top ones because they're easy to get to. Now that rule doesn't always apply. I know it does technically by the books. But take it from somebody who does this literally every day. Not on turbos, but on everything else. If you can only get to a couple, do what you can, work with what you have, and you'll probably end up okay. I've never had any catastrophic failures. Now, if you're doing like a head gasket or something, always follow the book, or what you know. Sure that if you're doing a head gasket in the general, you probably have some kind of experience in the first place. Getting off topic here, as always. Kind of do wonder how loud that air conditioner is for you guys, sorry. But like I was saying, I like to get them all ran down pretty much as even as I can. As soon as they get all like snugged up, that's when I go kind of ham on getting everything all nice and even. Because part of the fight is just getting them ran down. Be careful not to drop anything in your inlets and outlets. The dump pipe of this guy and down pipe is an exit only. Nobody's entering in my rear door like that. So I really do need to upload some like videos of this thing like driving, because I feel like you guys only like see the worst parts of this car, because there's a video like fixing it number 3000 blah blah blah. This is a well-built engine. I really haven't had any like catastrophic engine problems. I did build this one myself, and I gotta say I did a semi-decent job. No, I did a pretty good job, I think, in my eyes. Definitely could have done some things a little slower, so and things that I wish I would have kind of done, like taken my time on and like done a top mount and stuff, but I really tried to bang the engine build out kind of as fast as I could, really. And I mean, now that I have the RB25, I mean, it's nothing against this car, but it's just kind of like not really even annoying to work on, because having two project cars, I mean, this is what it's kind of going to be like. But I don't know. Harbor Freight, buy this. Paid promotion? No. But buy this. Great tool. Alright guys, I'm going to put some force on these guys and get them ran down. Okay guys, so the turbo's pretty much put back on. Sorry if you can still hear my air conditioner. Got all the manifold studs and nuts tightened. Put on the inlet for the turbo. I know you can see it's like kind of nasty, but that stuff's kind of like in there. Which is good because this engine really doesn't have much blow by. If you're wondering where like your oil drain and stuff like that is, or your oil feed, there's an oil feed, see right, that line right there. Yours will look different if it's hard line. And then your coolant feed is right there. And then your coolant return is the one that comes up to the coolant neck right here. Mine's kind of just chilling right there. And then your return is down on the bottom that you took off earlier. So then you just got to put these guys on and then do your coolant neck. Do not put the coolant neck on before you do everything else, because that'd be kind of dumb. You'd be taking it back off. So I'm going to put the coolant neck on. I'm going to rip off the old silicone, put on some new silicone, let it dry kind of while I do the bottom. And yes, I know I'm missing a cam angle bolt right there. It's because it's kind of messed up, but I do have the bottom one. I'm going to change this guy out, also the cover. Plug back in your O2 sensor. If this is off on yours, put it back on. Doesn't really matter, but mine's still off. It's been off for a while. Make sure you put on your wastegate line. That's important, the one that goes right here. That way you don't overboost and like kill your engine. Intake, intercooler pipe, and you'll be good to go, man. Okay guys, so everything is pretty much tight on the top. So now it's time to do it on the bottom. So all we got to do is the turbo drain. Do not forget to put that back on. Turbo drain, steering shaft, and the downpipe, and I think that's everything. Pretty sure. And yeah, that's pretty simple. Then we'll walk the tires off of it, while that silicone's still kind of drying. I know it's probably super loud, sorry. And then we'll put the street tires on. Then we'll adjust the height, and yeah, we'll rock it like that. This is the cool thing about Inkies. They're that light. Oh my god, I know you can't see. My camera has no idea how to focus. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I'm really trying not to hit the wheel too much here. This is not the best tire machine for this. Not really the machine's problem so much as the head that's on the machine. Not really like a track oriented tire or anything. Something that awful about the wheels, because the wheels are pretty expensive, so I was trying to fix them out. I didn't hurt the wheel there. Pop loud right there. I'm gonna peel all the old weights off, so those guys all gotta come off. Try not to hurt the wheel too much in the process. There's that. I already measured the wheel. Rolling straight. We're at the right pressure. What do we got? 1 ounce and an ounce and a half. I just roll it till the arrow says stop. I usually do the left side first. There we go. And then our weight will go up here. So that's the plan. So I need about 1 ounce. Okay. It's down where it's telling me with the laser. To put the center, I also did the other one right there. Let's give her the old spin. Good deal. 0-0. I'm gonna do it for the second one, then we'll throw them back on. Okay, so what I want to do is, I'm gonna lower it down real quick. I want to kind of see like where the ride height is, and God, it just will not focus, man. There we go. I want to kind of see where the ride height is at right now on the back, because I did have to raise it up just a tiny bit for those big tires. Not really like a big tire in drag race term, you just know what I mean. So anyways, we're going to see what it looks like, and then probably just adjust it. I do want this thing to sit a little lower because I just do for once. See, so right now the ride height's not like, well, it's pretty kind of screwed up a little bit. So we're going to lower the back, see what the front does. I'm just going to get the back where I want it, I think is what I'm going to do. Okay guys, so I got the ride height pretty much where I want it. Looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to it's still like not fully set to the ground, because when you raise the car, the wheels kind of camber in, so whenever you set it down, it's going to camber back out as soon as you pretty much roll it. I did forget to put on the coolant feed to the coolant exit or return on the turbo. Well, not on the turbo, but on the coolant neck. So I went to go fill it up with coolant, heard it all, but don't forget to do that. And by the way, I forgot to add that if you have hard lines, leave the turbo kind of loose while you're mounting them. I know it's too late, maybe I'll make like an annotation, but yeah. So I guess now we are going to start this baby up so we can warm it up, get it bled out, clean floor, put up my tools, make sure the shop's good, load it up, get out of here. Heater on, turn your heater on, and just let her warm up. If you have a heater, if not, don't worry about it. Running good. Sounds much better up here. Very quiet. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So very quiet. Sounds good. Whenever I had it all like apart and stuff, I did check, make sure all the belts are tight. You might as well while you're there. Still forgot to put this little dongle on, so I might tighten that up. Nonetheless, I'm going to kind of try to get cleaned up here, and yeah. Got some water on the belt. I'm gonna go ahead and back it up so I can, whatchamacallit, squeegee my stalls, my shit. Let me get you set up. All loaded up. I do need to take some stuff home, that way I can put some parts on the Skyline, or try to, so that's probably what I'll do now. What's up guys? So I didn't achieve mowing my lawn, but I did finish doing the sprinklers, like fixing them 100%. Also I went and I did see my parents, but now we're gonna try to, oh, and then I took the car to go get a lock for the trailer, and then my buddy borrowed the trailer. And then what else? Yeah, so now we're gonna try to fit the Skyline deck lid on the Skyline, and hope that see this weird gap, like not that gap, but like, see how it's like away from the light. Over here it's perfect. We hope that the deck lid will fix that, because it's been cut and like basically replaced on this corner. You can see where they had done it. See? So somebody like cut and replaced that, but I got a deck lid in the truck. I got some tools. Could still be this hinge. I hope it's not. I hope that this deck lid will like fix the problem. And then, yeah, let's just try that real quick. So an update. It seems like this thing is gonna need some very extensive body work. As you can tell, it did not fix the gap. So that kind of blows. Blows a lot. So definitely gonna have to think of a plan to fix this. And the problem is that the car was hit. See all this crinkle? Must have got hit in Japan. I think it was a drift car, and I think they tagged something, and they replaced this corner. Like as far as like the quarter goes, I believe it's like this part. But it's pretty obvious that something was pretty hurt under here. Don't worry, that's like about as extensive as the rust gets. But you can see where they like oxyacetylene that off. And I mean, it crunched it. So, what to do? We can do a tube rear, which would be like really cool. So I think maybe we should tube the rear. Kind of like what they do with like the Injuku cars. So we'll basically cut it off pretty much where it was wrecked anyways, and tube it, and then get like over fenders pretty much is what you do, or you can get like the OEM fenders. They're just kind of expensive for quarter panels. Mount them to where they fit like super nice, and we'll just go with the GTR ones as the plan was. Still have a lot of like dents to fix. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, like a lot. And it's definitely going to be hard for me to like do that whenever this car is like, I mean, this is a fun car to drive, this one. Definitely have a blast with it. Wouldn't take much for me to drive it like at all, other than like starting it up and going. But I think what I'll do is like, thinking about putting the fenders on, but they're like super duper banged up now. See, so that sucks. I'm not sure what to do, but I'll figure it out. I mean, I know it's kind of a negative ending, but we'll get it going. It's what we do. It's what we're good at. Now that deck lid's good now. And then of course I need to get this bumper out. Bumper is good. Skyline. Right. This right here is like the highlight. It's the only good part about the video. Right there. Which is not even center. We'll get all this figured out. Well, she feels pretty good. You can probably like barely hear me. I don't know, it's fucking loud in here. It's a beautiful night. I think it's like 87 degrees or something. Maybe not, maybe even cooler than that. But super stoked on it. Nice evening. And time to go have some fun. Man, I really wish I would have found my GoPro so I could like show you guys driving the car like I was talking about earlier. Alright guys, so I just got home from work. Anyways, it's like the next day after recording all that stuff. And I just want to say thanks for everything you guys have done. As far as like the subscribers and all that, I've jumped up like subscribers like 10 or something in the last like 2 days. So that's pretty crazy because we had went from like none. But anyways, I just want to say thank you for that. And I didn't really do much after all fixing the car. Went to a car meet, but I didn't really record anything. The next upcoming thing I have is, if we're going to do it, is a track day on Friday. I might be in town, I might not, but we'll have to see what happens. Look at my cool Shade Tree Garage sign that Jennifer got me. And then cutting the rear end off the Skyline because the frame's a little bent in the back. If you are following Juku Racing on YouTube, they just did it to one of their R32s, and I'm just going to have to do it to that one. So there will be a video on that hopefully soon, chopping the rear end off. That's going to hurt a lot of people, but we'll get it fixed up. What's left? That's pretty much it, guys. Anyways, hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload, and then please like and subscribe, and thank you for everything. I appreciate it, and bye.